Oh, ladies and German Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today on Slutsk, we have ourselves an old friend and, well, another old friend. Rang, who do we have fighting?
Left hand side in blue, we have Gearhead 117 playing as Grupotnik with a flatline income. And on the right hand side, we have Crippling Depression playing as the 1st Polish Infantry Division with a balanced income.
A crippling depression, like I said, an old friend, and the player as well, it sounds like. But I'm actually super excited. I said to you just before we got started, this is not Airsat's opening other than a couple of MGs. I am super freaking excited to not see that stuff
Here we
anymore.
got Stott Trooper, Cavalry Troops, we've got Hetchers, a Tiger open air from Gearhead, really bringing in all the heavy guns, and Crippling going for pretty standard Polish, infantry spam galore. Not too many T-34s yet, but I promise you there'll probably be a lot of T-34s.
Obviously, give it time, I'm sure it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the early actual town fight is actually going in the favor of Gearhead, which is not exactly what I was expecting. I actually had expected this appeared to hold up a little bit longer than they are so far.
Yeah, they just kind of ran into Sturmgewehr fire and close range fire, and now they're all dead. I mean, it really comes down more to the flamethrower troops, and down south, the flamethrowers starting to get a few shots off, but yeah, like you said, they're not holding out at Rel.
I'm actually kind of amused as well. We actually have ourselves a FK 288 that basically captured Zis.
Yeah.
Kind of sitting up top. I kind of surprised he's as close as he is. I'm equally surprised that that flamethrower troop is being so gutsy. With a Luke's right there, yeah, not sure what he was expecting to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. The Tiger is in a very good position overlooking the town. Yeah, it's really where you want to be putting it. Same with the Hetcher as well. I mean, the key part of the town fight usually down south is, getting so far enough where you can just kind of deny enemy reinforcements by sniping anything before they get into the town.
mm-hmm.
And the Tiger's almost in position to effectively do that.
Certainly sounds about right. I'm surprised actually to see the heavy artillery being brought in quite so soon over here from a Gearhead. Actually, seeing those FK-288s, we was expect them to be a little bit later once we see the T-34s coming in. I guess that's much more of a preventative measure.
Yeah, so those FKs are pretty good because it's just like the Russians just freeze. You can use them as anti-tank, and you can also use them as artillery, but the Germans were kind enough to give you guns, radios, meaning that they're really good artillery because they're bloody accurate.
Yes, they are. And that Hetzer almost proving its worth, definitely forcing a couple of very, very early disembarks from the Poles as they try to bring more troops into that town. Unfortunately, now being very delayed and actually, ooh, wait, no, I'm sorry. They were trying to go up to this northern hillside, which is, well, looking rather blue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually very surprised by the opening here. We're also going to see actually a Luke's trying to make a run over here at the bottom. Not going to bring any territory with him. Oh, wait, IL-2 coming in super early for the Tiger.
Oh.
This is going to cause, this would be a make-or-break moment, I think, for the early game.
Yeah, that'd be a really good kill if he can knock out the Tiger. Especially an A-phase run it. Yeah, there's no IA, no airplanes in sight. The IL-2 just doesn't have to miss. There we go.
That's a big, big freaking kill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only coming right in time, too, because in the center, his troops are falling apart. In the north, he's got nothing. And crippling depression looks like he's giving way to, the modern medicine of steel here.
Yeah, Gearhead really bringing in a lot of armor into the town now. Probably could use with some more infantry reinforcements, but opting to get a Luke's instead.
Well, Luke's that went down to the south of the end run is gone, and we're actually seeing at least a platoon. Is that yeah, about a platoon's worth of T-34-76s being brought on in. So this is going to be interesting, I would say, from the Hetzer, if nothing else.
I do like his random T-34 all the way down south behind enemy lines. Good thing it's a recon unit. At least he can see stuff before he inevitably gets blown up by something.
Well, also worth mentioning that they actually have another Tiger being brought in super early, so neglecting to really go for the infantry, Gearhead is opting to trust into the Fuhrer of the Panzers more than anything.
Yeah, and it's definitely a risky call with Hartnick because I believe you only get 2 Tiger cards in the division.
Right.
So, spending one of those on an A phase card really hurts your availability later on.
Wait, is the Hetzer? I think the Hetzer just went
Yep.
down, and so did the T-34. That was,
Yep.
oh my gosh.
As the SU-57, that thing is a bloody machine gun, and it finally dies, but it did its job.
Oh yeah, no, I actually got a premium of a cost too. That thing was beautifully price efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Down to the south, the T-34s are starting to make their way across, and unfortunately for Gearhead, I don't know, Captain. I don't know if they can stop them.
I don't really have any proper anti-tank down south, but fortunately for him, Crippling doesn't really have much infantry coming in. He only has one small Sappery squad. And, tanks and fine and all, but you kind of need infantry to back him up.
Unless, of course, the tanks don't have to worry about anything that can even scratch them. Just of right now, we have... Oh, wait, never mind. No Molotovs for you.
Oh.
So, not looking too pretty. And I imagine we're going to see a very quick rotation. Yeah, we have FK-288, the captured resist, is coming down to the south, looking to try to get into that forest. I'm not sure it's going to be able to get there necessarily. But I think even a sacrifice right there, you got MP-44 to just kind of slow guys down until the FK-288 can get it deployed. It's just going to be enough.
Or Messerschmitt. Or, is that a Messerschmitt?
Nope.
No.
It's a 410. But it's yeah, so it's a Messerschmitt, but it's a
reared a chunky Messerschmitt.
He let himself go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and a very quick 37mm being brought in by the Soviets, excuse me, by the Poles, to match that.
Definitely a good call in. As 410 is, pretty much his air superiority. He has all the time to line up for gun run number 2.
Well, actually, I like this flak track being brought in actually from the German side of things. That 20mm, I mean, it's just a single 20mm, but can be definitely quite deadly. And here comes the 410. I kind of have to almost try to imagine what it was like to be a ground attack aircraft during the war, especially with that kind of cannon. Like, what kind of guts would it be to point your nose at the ground and be like, you know what? I think we'll just continue flying straight at the ground.
It's also kind of crazy thinking about how bloody big that gun is. You
Yes.
probably felt it when you shot the gun. It's like with the B-25 Mitchell, it's had a 75mm gun on it. That's a pretty big thing to put on a flying aircraft.
Wasn't that the one that they basically said the entire aircraft would stagger when it shot?
Think so. Yeah, I think so.
I was saying to someone the other day, it's actually kind of terrifying when you think about it. Flying is basically desperately not trying to hit the ground at speed. Mm-hmm. And then to put a giant artillery piece basically on there as well. Oh my god, the stones on it.
And then they built the AC-130.
But crippling depression is looking to stave off any kind of happiness that 410 will bring.
Mm-hmm.
And does get a rudder damage, forces him away, but he's done what he needs to do. He's put the fear of God in the T-34s down to the south, and given, I would argue, quite a big opening for the Germans to aggress and seal off the rest of this town.
Yeah, and speaking of opening up north, it's just free real estate up here, as Gearhead's got a bunch of flags for really not much cost.
Well, that's the thing. You want to get a deal for it. You don't want to spend a lot for the flags. You want to go and get it for a sale, really.
Mm-hmm. You want to wait till like Black Friday.
Exactly. It's a Steam sale. Whoever pays full price for a game.
That's very true. It's very true.
Or Epic if you prefer, but I guess we're on the Steam client right about now. Infantry is going down, though, so I think Gearhead's got to start considering bringing in some more infantry besides the occasional squad as we see it right to you guys up the MP-44s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gearhead has pretty good map control. I mean, up north, definitely helping out quite a bit in terms of just territory control. But he's really, putting in the pressure on the town. He's been leaving crippling depression on the back foot, just the constant tanks coming in. Probably could use, a little bit more infantry, especially at the moment, but it's working so far for Gearhead.
I am surprised that Luke's over there was not trying to engage the Separati that are going to the north, but I guess there could be other targets for him. I can help but imagine... Ooh, okay, yeah. I was going to wonder when that other assist was going to start opening up on the T-34 aggressing from the eastern hillside.
Mm-hmm.
And down to the south, it looks like we have a southern thrust being set up. Yep, we do.
Yep, that's a bunch of tank Desunikis, essentially. Unfortunately, not much armored support, but well, it only have 50 cal half tracks, which is definitely gonna hurt him in terms of trying to like take said town. Also, has an
Yeah,
anti-tank gun.
doubly so. Yeah, I was gonna say, so the anti-tank gun is gonna start throwing rounds down range,
Yeah.
and could actually, ooh, if it takes out that 37 mil super early, that could be super lucky there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile to the north, yep, anti-tank gun has been dropped off, and honestly, that Luke's is probably not long for this world. But at least a couple of half-tracks have gone down in the meantime, and the IL-2 coming back in, looking for a second Tiger. Oh my gosh, this Tiger's gonna get owned. Swim away! Swim away! At long last, he sees the danger.
Too late.
Yeah,
Too
way too
late.
late.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a proper Messerschmitt this time.
Yeah, but it's like a G6, and unlike the Yin Yang crew, I don't think it's really going to be that much of an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling the IL-2 will probably survive.
Again, he's only got 200 rounds of 20 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Practically nothing. What's that flak track? That thing didn't go down, did it? I guess it must have. I don't see the flak track anymore. And down south, the thrust has actually happened. I didn't even see this. An artillery strike took out the anti-tank gun, leaving the Red Jaegers quite outnumbered by these descent, with the Tanko Desantniki, essentially.
Yeah.
The southern thrust is actually working. That's actually,
I'm
surprised.
I originally didn't really like Tank Desantnikis because I always thought you could just get after Machikis. They got 2 more SMGs and they got better availability. But holy crap, Tank Desantnikis are perfect as like stormtrooper troops because they come in armored like transports, which means they don't get shot at by small arms.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just drive them right up through enemy infantry if they don't have anti-tank, unload, chuck a Molotov in their direction, and then just finish them off with SMGs. And then
Exactly.
they work really well. I mean, all the past replays where we see Tank Desantniki troops, they just rush in and kill things. They usually die pretty quickly, but they get their slice of meat or their pound of meat.
Well, that's the important thing. Yeah, definitely the pound of flesh. You're absolutely right. And actually, we're going to see Strelke coming in to kind of back this up. So troops being thrown in to reinforce, I would argue, they're recently won gains.
Definitely a good call in there, because Tank Desantnikis won't be enough to hold as Gearhead bringing in reinforcements. A bunch of Hungarian guys coming in down south. So this is where Hartnett starts to get a little bit crazy.
That's good, because that IL-2 is coming back again. 3 kills? 3 kills.
3 kills.
And the G6 is coming back through again. Go for a deflection, but not really gonna...
Yeah.
You know, I saw recently someone was complaining about the AI pathing for the attack for ground, basically for fighters. And I understand the issue on that one. I feel like old pathing would have seen that ME-109 for a nice little deflection shot. And now he just continues to aim directly at the plane, and he's not really getting any kind of shots in.
Yeah, I know. It's always been one of the big problems I think Eugene's had, even back in Wargame LM Battle. Like, sometimes the planes would fly where you don't want them to fly, or, like, you know, not be able to get behind a plane like that. It's really annoying. Especially, I think the reason why I can't get behind it because the IL-2 is too slow.
Exactly. I mean, something just went down.
Yeah, I was the Messerschmitt.
Okay, I was looking just down at this counter thrust from Gearhead, and I'm not sure it's going to have the punch he needs. But you're absolutely right. It should never be that their lack of speed is a bonus. I'm sorry. I can't defend that.
Yeah, it's kind of amusing, but it is a bit silly. I wish their planes control just a bit better. Or sometimes when you evac a plane, and it's like, okay, I want you to evac up, like, northwards, because there's no anti-air, but then they evac southwards, and then they run into the entirety of the enemy anti-aircraft net and get shot down.
Exactly.
That's happened too many times to count.
Oh, yeah. Husarovs are coming hitting the field, though, and those Hungarians, they are Hungary for more. And not for nothing, but the P2s and the Husarovs, they are a match made in Hartnett heaven. They are. They are.
Yeah.
And, geez, we've
Yeah.
got 410 as well. Jeez, it doesn't matter. Oh.
Yeah. Those like prototype P2s are so good. I mean, just P2s, autocannon vehicles in general. Town flags like this, they just shred. Absolute killers.
Oh, absolutely. IL-2 is coming in to drop bombs up on the right to Diego's. Definitely worthwhile. I'm actually kind of interested to see what is... Oh, wow, okay. Anti-aircraft gun has been taken out by the Hetzer, so Hetzer's got a Hetz. Maybe I'm incorrect in saying this, but it's been a surprisingly meager amount of T-34s so far.
Yeah, it has been. Usually, with the pose, it's all about having like a dozen of those T-34s out before the end of A phase. But I will admit, on a map like Slutsk, it is a harder proposition to play pose.
True, I guess that's fair.
Because, usually with the pose, you want to be playing close quarters, knife fighting, all of that good stuff. It's a much more open map, and it can be a real pain to fight in open maps where you don't have a lot of long-range, ground-based anti-tank firepower.
I think, though, that's kind of missing on opportunities, though, too. Like, you see the central arterial that kind of curves south towards this town.
Yeah.
I feel like if you bring in troops that way, and you kind of just use the hillside for cover.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do feel like there are opportunities, but I think I would definitely agree with you that it's much harder to get them into play. I'll say that. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, the whole southern side of the map is really where you want to be playing as pose. You want to get, sticky in that town and just spam in all the crazy infantry that you got to fight over it. But it's been pretty light from crippling depression.
Which is a good thing in some would say. But
I
actually,
think the economy
please
hurt him.
I'm sorry?
The early A phase economy was balanced.
True. You're right. I mean, I guess you're not going to see it very often when you only have 100 points coming in every 30 seconds. 45 mil is putting some hellish fire down onto those poor P3Ns. This is going to be... I'm not even sure who can win. Oh, yep. I thought I was going to see a bit of a different outcome there, but the P3N... not quite as thick a skin as you need to fight on the internet.
Oh, I think he might finally get the kill. Yeah. 2-star veterancy.
Now, one thing we do have to watch out for is we have the Ostrowski's there with the 14.5 millimeter. Sorry, never mind. IL-2 going after the Hetzer and is taken out before then.
Anticlimactic. I think the T-70's knocked it out, which is rather surprising.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely frontal penetration.
Well, that's what you really want. I mean, a lot of people tell you they want to penetrate from the back, but
you can't be impolite and coming through the back door. You gotta announce your presence.
Buy dinner.
Yes.
And besides, real men does it through the front. And this video is not being taken down. Demonetized.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, I mean, those T-70s, they are basically ablative armor for the T-34 in the back.
Yeah. They're not bad tanks. Just because they're nice and cheap.
That's true. They're just less worthy.
Yeah, they're definitely not as. It's always a funny looking tank. I always think this looks so bizarre, how small it is and how angular the tank looks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it looks like a tankette from what would be World War One. And ooh, the off-map 105 gets taken out.
Whoa! Did it even? I didn't even call on any map
not.
From the off. Oof! That's a big F.
Yes, it is. And actually, those 4 tanks coming on in. I mean, I just continue to wonder who the heck designed the T-70 that was like, you know what? This job requires 4. We're gonna put 2 in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't look like to be a very comfortable tank to be in with how small it is. Same with a lot of Soviet tanks.
That's true. I mean, at that point, it was more expensive for the metal, and the manpower was cheap, so why bother?
Yeah. We got more Soviet planes coming. I mean, I'm really loving these cluster bombs. Using the IR-2 clusters is such a vital part of playing pose efficiently, because they're your most effective way to knock out tanks. And I don't know what he's going for with the IR-2.
I thought he was going for the P3, but he lost sight of it because disappeared CER in the forest right now.
Yeah.
Also, before, the measurement that went down, that was the G6. That wasn't the 410, was it?
Yeah, it was the fighter one. Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm actually kind of impressed with this P3N, who is just having the fight of his life. I mean, he's not going to win this by any stretch of the imagination, but he gets the kill that matters.
Yeah.
He gets the kill that matters. IL-2, not to be cheated of his prey, is looking for more, and I don't think he's going to find it. I think the Flak Vierling is going to start engaging. Yep, there we go.
Leaving in the IO2 takes it like a champ.
Well, this appears to be thrown back into the town, and the Jägers who are being kind of opened up here, wow, somehow don't hit with any of their grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's going to be, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here. And they're starting to see some of the quality Polish infantry and crippling depression can take. And he is actually, he's starting to punch back now. C phase has hit, he's got the eco advantage, he's got some good infantry now. Maybe this is the time he can, counter back.
IL-2 to the north, bombs away, and I think he dropped him long.
Yep, and 410 down south knocks out T-70.
He got a stew and that. Oh my god.
Oh, looking at like the cluster placements, that's super tight. They're both just barely inside of the cluster radius.
Man alive. But crippling depression, for all of that, he continues to lose time and territory. It is still 13-11, so it's not terrible.
No.
But he's got to pick up something, and I don't know where that's going to be.
Yeah. I think it's going to be down south.
Yeah, he's hoping down south.
Yeah, he's got... What does he have? He has a bunch of strokey DPs coming in down south. And that's how you run infantry fights, guys. You just spam strokey DPs.
Unfortunately for him, though, there are still Husaroks in the area. There's a P3N sliding around. And honestly, this Hetzer can really slide south and provide some really great interdiction at a very low cost, I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, they have the Carnies are here. Is this... Su-76 might be engaging the P3. Oh, okay.
Oh, just providing artillery support.
The P3N, despite being offered the chance to shoot these guys in the back, neglects to do so. Stokes, on the other hand, have no such compunction.
Mm-hmm. Strokey DPs do unload quite a bit early, it seems. Like, I kind of understand why maybe worrying about an anti-tank gun emplacement. But still, it's going to definitely slow down his advance down south.
No doubt.
That's going to be like 5 minutes before his infantry get to the front line. Yo, he does have the flag.
Watch IL-2, 2 Stokes, adding to the tally. Here it comes.
Oh, oh, in the town of Drought, is he going for the headshot? He loses his line of sight. But Messerschmitt on the IO2. And just too slow. It also doesn't help that the IO2s are very well armored.
And just, beefy as all get out, yeah.
Yeah. And the Messerschmitt does go down. It's too bad he doesn't have a flak track down south. Because he has... Having run in the middle would nice, but really all this... If he had like one of those down south, he could actually do a pretty good job of not shooting down the IL-2s, but at least stopping them from dropping their payload.
Well, there's still one more IL-2 prowling around, and there's a Hetzer still down there, so you got to be careful. Because here comes the pain train, I imagine.
Choo-choo. Yeah, I'm really loving the use of that power here from Crippling. Like,
yes, that has totally kept him in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the IL-2 is going after the Tiger. Oh my god, could this happen again?
Chugga, choo-choo.
What an ignoble way to die.
And the flag track's rushing down south. I gotta save you.
Too late.
Nope. Holy crap, we got to see what those IO2s have killed, because they have been on point.
Yeah, they absolutely have. 410, meantime, being called in to go after him. Never mind, decides discretion's a better part of valor.
Finally, I get some shots off on the IO2, but yeah, on moving it's going to be rather inaccurate. It's one of the downsides of Hartnett is you don't have a lot of good ground-based anti-air. You do have really good fighters, but as we're seeing, the fighters aren't doing that great.
No, they are not. I'm surprised I should see that not more investment into artillery. Yes, yeah. I get the fact that it's slow and requires a certain level of kind of setup time, but to me, I feel like if you throw in some artillery at that point, what you're really, really concerned with is how many guys can I kill? How many guys can I stress out within, 30 seconds, 45 seconds?
Yeah. I do like how Gearhead does have a more half track, or he's top
Hmm.
pick for Hartnett, and it's doing some work down south. It's suppressing stuff. However, Crippling Depression is on the counter battery game with his 122 mil, and it's actually doing some pretty decent damage. Actually kills it. Oh, actually kills a bloody half track. That is a stunning kill. Let's see
Yep.
if you're the half track.
We are certainly in 1944, 1945 here with how effective the polls have been.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, a couple more squads coming in. We've seen drips and drabs of infantry. I don't think Gearhead is running out, but I would be very surprised if he was rolling in tons of infantry here.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is how Crippling was building, that classic C phase. I'm gonna come at you after 20 minutes, and I'm gonna hit you like a freight train because really a lot of his A phase and B phase units were crap. But now he's got all the really good infantry on the field, and as you can see, the turns have definitely tabled in the town.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of wonder if he's a DJ, how quickly everything's been kind of going around. You're right.
Just mixing things.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, he could spin with the best of them. Some might even say he's a spin doctor. And really, this is just a tale of two princes, which is apparently another reference I never really understood until I was about 26, but that's besides the point. Tons of T-70s coming into the south. Strelka DPs also making the slog. Wait, BA-10s, Su-57s. This has been the menagerie of just strange armored vehicles.
Mm-hmm. It's just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way, this is exactly the kind of division that Hartnett needs to play against. That kind of polyglot versus a polyglot thing.
Yeah. And those are my favorite divisions, man. Where you just kind of have to, throw what you got and just hope that it sticks. And usually what you got is all over the place. Yo, IL-2, oh no, that flag track doing some good damage.
It's not going to get a kill. If it's one thing I've learned is that the IL-2 is impervious to ground-based attack fire unless you fly it into the mouth of hell. And even then, it might just come out with a bad paint job.
Yeah. Definitely the lack of anti-air is really, really hurting Hartnett in this match. And that's a really good play from Crippling, focusing on their air power because like you said, it's winning him the match.
I'm also slightly amused by the fact that we have this T-34, the Boita T-34, trying to almost play tag with the T-34 east up on this mountain. We've not seen a ton of Soviet armor until now.
Mm-hmm.
But, ooh, wait, there's a Pak-40. This could be really, really awful.
Oh yeah, that's a good position for the pack.
If he can get the shot off.
Yeah, and if he can get into the forest, here we go.
What are you doing?
Who
cares about the Su-57?
I think he barely doesn't have line of sight in the T-34s. But now he does. Come on, shoot the proper target. Second Pak-40. There we go. But no, he's still shooting the Su-57.
On the Yiga Pioneers here to kind of go and maybe just soak a bit? Nope, guess not. He might get one more round off before he gets killed. There we go. What a shame. That could have been a literal turning point right there. But down in the south, while we were watching the T-34s in the victorious kind of march, we are actually seeing the T-70s are just blitzing through the town.
Yeah, nothing there to stop him at this point. And yeah, Crippling, I have a feeling he's going to win this at this point. Even though it's still 12-12, he just has that momentum. And I don't think Gearhead, I think Gearhead kind of ran out of steam.
Well, you know what they say. I mean, the Panthers didn't have a very long track life.
Mm-hmm.
So that they threw a track here or there was going to happen eventually.
He still has armor on the field, to be fair. I mean, he's bringing out another Tiger and another Hatcher, but knowing from previous experience, there's going to be an IL-2 of cluster bombs with that Tiger's name on it.
True. Just like there's going to be an IL-2 with the FK-288's name on it, or I guess you want to reverse that there. But 500 kilograms worth of HE is coming down on him to the north. That guy's been there since the beginning of the game. It's been a really great interdiction. And I don't think this guy is going to miss. This is going to hurt. Yep.
Was there in the beginning, won't make it till the end. And is he bringing out the 410? No, he's bringing the 410 to try and kill some T-34s.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the 410 comes in as another anti-air, that'd be just kind of laughable. And yet, you get a crit, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But yes, unless there's a crazy reverse happening within the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, now Flynn finally getting the point advantage and slowly bleeding Gearhead.
It is always so strange to watch the non-anti-tank infantry start hurling hand grenades at the windows.
Yeah.
Like the BA-10's coming through, and it's like, huzzah! Huzzah! And it's like, nope.
Just a scratch. None of them managed, get it down the commander's hatch and blow it up.
Unlike these IL-2s, which will go and take out both this Strug and this Hetzer, and I'm going to watch the sadness as they split apart. I still don't think they're going to make it. Prognosis, not excellent for this Tiger. Driver knocked out. And time to play taps, boys. Yep.
Yeah. I like how he spread it, but the Hetzer...
I mean, statistically, one of them had to survive eventually. He had to spread the news of the next one's victory, of course. And now blind shooting over here is taking out the reinforcement of Jaeger Pioneers and anti-tank guns. Oof, this is hard to watch now.
Yeah.
So it looks like a rope-a-dope. It looks like a rope-a-dope.
It's very ropey, very dopey.
Well, I mean, just the whole idea that crippling depression. He just got beat up, got hung in there for a little while, kind of let it sink in, took his shots, took his lumps, and now late in the game, and Gearhead has punched himself tired.
Mm-hmm. I really do like seeing more C-phase focused gameplay in 1v1s, because usually the matter is you play A-phase, B-phase rush and try to win in the first 20 minutes. Well, I'd say it's pretty hard to play that C-phase sort of play style. I mean, mainly just due to the fact that, holy crap, the flak track just deleted an infantry unit down south, sorry, but...
Oh, no, I was actually watching the Hetzer try to duel with the T-34Es and T-70s.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing of playing, that C-phase focus is that you gotta get beat up for 20 minutes, essentially, if you're fighting against more A-phase, B-K focused division. And that's just not fun. It's really annoying, and it's very disheartening, and you feel like you're gonna lose. I mean, if you look at the point score, crippling depression seems like he should have lost, but, if you survive and you manage to do a good counter push in C-phase, you can just see the entire match do a reversal like this.
But man, isn't that the way that depression always goes? Like, you think you've beaten it, and then at the last second, it's just okay, it comes back, man. I get it.
Yeah.
That's called being an adult. I mean...
Oh, that's too true, yeah.
I'm sorry, you were saying that, sir, before
yeah,
it's real for a second.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing that dynamic of, an A-phase, B-phase division fight C-phase, because it's always, for the A-phase, B-phase, they gotta win in those first 20 minutes or so, or they're gonna be hit by a tidal wave of stuff.
Well, and that's what we see here. We see a KD of almost 2-1 in favor of crippling depression.
Yeah, if you look at the chronology, like a lot of the early deaths are, Soviet or Polish, and then, later on it kind of just turns around.
Oh, screw that! I'm just watching the IL-2s. Tyra, 5 kills, including 3 Tigers. Another IL-2, whatever.
Yeah.
Another one, 5 kills. I mean, that right there is the heart and soul of Heart and Nick's armor.
That is... Yeah, it was IL-2's MVP. And losses... Some pretty decent kills, of the artillery/AT, and the 410 doing all
as much as it could, yes.
Yeah. But nothing super duper interesting, really. Just, goddamn, those IL-2s, man.
Well, exactly. I mean, they paid themselves off and then some.
Mm-hmm.
No two ways about it. But folks, the great thing about it is that even with this match being over, there's always time for more.
Yeah.
I know in a couple of days actually would come up with another really, really great game. Super excited for it. But Ryan, I guess any final thoughts about this one in the meantime?
None whatsoever.
Well, in that case, folks, we will see you all soon. Until next time, I'm Connell Work.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.